basically being a corporate dropout, I felt like such a failure. I had a lot of ideas as to like what my first job would be like, and none of that happened. Hello everybody, welcome welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute and I feel like I've started the last few videos like this, but I have a good reason. The last few years, I'm not that old. The last year of life, which is my first year being post-undergraduate, I was honestly really struggling because the job that I got ended up not being a fit at all, and I feel like I put so much pressure and like weight on getting this job. I officially do freelance work, and I'm basically here to give you a rundown as to like what the heck happened my first year being post-grad. And if you're interested in doing freelance as well, stay tuned because I have some tips for you. So without further ado, let's just jump right in and let's talk about what the heck has been going on in my life. As most people do, I got to complete 2 internships while I was in college, and more than likely your internship is going to turn into a job unless you don't do good, and so that's basically what happened for me. After my second internship, I received a job offer. I got to finish my last semester of college, and then in January of 2021, I got to begin that new job. And I think the downfall for me is that the job that I was doing in my internship that I was so excited for was not at all the job that I was given when I started in January, and that's honestly nobody's fault, and I don't think that the company I was at is like bad or anything. It was just a really bad fit, and all of the circumstances combined honestly was just a recipe for disaster. Happened, so I was alone in my room for 40 hours a week, just working on my laptop, doing work that I hated, and really just not seeing a way out of it. I was told that there's potential for me to move around, but if not, then I have to just at least complete a year, and honestly, like, it wasn't worth it to me. Full transparency, I'm really big on talking about finances, so when I did get my job offer, I was super excited because obviously it's a lot of money, it's a tech salary. They started me at $65,000, and then I believe I had a $7,000 bonus on top of that, so I just want to share that because I know a lot of people in this space are joining tech because of the salary. So if you're curious as to what my starting salary was straight out of college, that was it. And just full disclosure, I didn't negotiate because I was just happy to get a job. I wasn't trying to lose that opportunity, and I just didn't know how to negotiate. But you should negotiate. Make sure you negotiate. I think the culture that I experienced during my internship and the culture I experienced during my actual job were a little bit different than what I was expecting, and I think that's just kind of like when you're dazed by all the excitement of your internship and you're just like so excited about like getting a job that you kind of look past all of the red flags. And again, I'm a prime example of like the aftermath of when that happens. Overall, the reason I had to leave was not the right type of work, not the right work environment, and I really just like don't think that I was a good fit for that company. I could have stayed there, I could have worked hard, I could have done great things, but I'm so young that I have the opportunity to just shift a different way and pursue that instead. In worst case scenario, I can always go back. When I received my job offer, I really felt a weight lifted off of my shoulders, and it really gave me a false sense of security. I didn't apply to any other jobs just because I knew that my internship was going to turn into a job, because I knew I was going to do well in that internship. So first piece of advice, if you are in a position to do an internship, or if you are in that phase of life where you are applying for jobs, during college, make sure you apply to as many companies as possible. Don't intern at the same company twice unless you are literally in love with that company. Try other companies, really put your feelers out there, because that is your chance to explore different companies, and people want to help you when you're a college student. Honestly, within the first month, I was very aware that I wasn't going to last at the company I was at. So in a few months, so I started in January, end of January. By the time June came around, I had put in my 2 weeks and I was ready to say goodbye to that world. Again, it was not an easy decision. A lot of tears, a lot of talks, a lot of hard talks went on. But ultimately, I had the opportunity to pursue freelance and pursue building something for myself. And I feel like if I don't do it now, I'm never gonna do it. So here we are, 2022. What the heck is going on? What do I do now? So what I currently do is a mixture of web design and web development. I also still do photography, but my primary focus is going to be on web design and web development. I get to work with small businesses, and I use CMS, so like Shopify, Squarespace, any platform like that, and I use code to customize those templates and make it more personable, make it fit to their brand, and just really communicate the brand online. There's a couple different things that I do alongside web design and web development. The best way that I could put it is I'm basically like your online tech support. If there's other things like tutorials people need made, or if you genuinely just like have a back end question, people will hire me for things like that. It's a very interesting space, and I really do believe that I don't want to say in 2022, but just in present day, you can really decide what your job is going to look like, and you can make your own job. Like, it is very possible. I obviously wasn't able to go full-time freelance overnight, so let me tell you about some of the things that I did that helped me prepare for quitting my job and helped me quit my job, and in general got me ready for that big transition. So while I was in college, I did get my very first social media job. I worked with an athletic apparel brand. It was local to San Antonio, and I got to do their social media, photography, videography, and I did work with a team of people, but those are kind of the things I was working with. That was my first time doing social media work. I realized out of that experience that I need creative work to feel any type of fulfillment. I need creative work to like enjoy my day-to-day, because if I'm doing governance or policy, which is what I was doing at my corporate job, literally soul-sucking, which if you do that, no offense, it just was not for me. Prior to this, I had done like small video projects. I worked with a realtor and got to film a video with them. I got to work with somebody that was flipping a house, and I created a video for them. Honestly, looking back, these videos are awful, and I can't believe I even made somebody like pay money for those things, but you know, you have to start somewhere, so I'm not going to harp on that part for too long. Let that be motivation, that you really just have to start. You have to make the bad stuff in order to get past it and make great work that you're proud of. While I was at my first corporate job, I also started taking courses. I'm going to link the course that I took below. It's by Square Stylist, and just full disclosure, it is a referral link, but I would highly recommend her course. She's so smart, so talented, and she will get you started if you want to do web development. It is a bigger investment, but the return that you get, I've definitely made my money back from her course, no doubt about it. My online community is very near and dear to my heart, and it's definitely another huge resource that I used when I was trying to transition into web development and just trying to find different ways that I could freelance so that I would be stable enough to leave my job. Follow different creators that are doing what you want to do, talk to them, interact with them. Watch a different YouTube video every single day, learning a new skill. It's small things that add up. You're never gonna learn something overnight, but all of those small actions do build up, and you will get to a point eventually where you're a lot more comfortable. I honestly have almost officially been doing this for a year, and I still feel like I know nothing. Obviously, because I've only been doing this for a year. But I just know from like an outside perspective, if somebody looks at me, you're probably going to assume that I know everything because I'm like presenting myself like as an expert online. But I just want to keep it real with you. Like, I'm learning right alongside you, okay? Like, I'm good at it, I can present myself well, but I'm learning, okay? I'm learning. Overall, I basically always had a side hustle, and I was always trying to learn something. If you have a very demanding full-time job, I will say it's a lot harder, but the job that I had was not very demanding. I honestly don't think that they needed me. Which is a whole nother issue, but I definitely, when I got off of work, I still had energy, I still had time to do things, so I was able to continue freelancing and working on my side hustle in hopes of turning that into my full-time hustle eventually. So let's move on to the advice portion. Here are some things that you can do to help yourself get out of your corporate job and into freelancing. Now, full disclosure, I do want you to know that I do have some advantages when it comes to freelancing. I'm obviously in a whole relationship. I'm married now, I live with my husband now, and I think just like doing life with another person is just a lot easier than doing it by yourself. So it did take off a lot of the pressure from me, but when I did quit my job, I was still living alone, so nonetheless, it was a scary experience. I had just signed a lease on an apartment. I also want to disclose that I know a big reason people get full-time jobs is for health insurance. Because of my age and because I had just left college, I was still on my parents' health insurance, and that was a big reason why I was able to make this jump. So if you are in a full-time job looking to go freelance, but you need your benefits, just know that there are health insurance options for freelancers. They do exist. And if you need to do a side hustle and stay at your job longer, like, there's no shame on that. Like, first, take care of yourself and take care of your bills above all else. Like, that comes first before trying to look cool on social media or before trying to do something that isn't going to be able to sustain you and your lifestyle. But anyways, with that being said, here are a few of the things that I would recommend doing if you're looking to go into freelance. I've already touched on this, but you need to tap into your community. Whether it's online or in person, community will get you so far. A lot of my very first clients were all local to San Antonio. They were all people that I had met. Something else that you can do is just order yourself some basic business cards, straight up go to businesses and be like, hey, like, can I make you your website? Like, I'll do it for free. I'll do it for $200. Whatever it may be, just get started. I know it's scary to put yourself out there, but without taking that first step, you're really not going to be able to begin. If you have business owners in your life that are like your friends or your family, reach out to them and ask them if you can do something for them. One strategy that I was recommended is creating a wireframe, which is basically like a mock-up of a website, and presenting that to a potential client and saying, hey, for $500, like, I'll build you this website. Like, what do you think? And let me tell you, it is not hard to find bad Instagrams, bad websites, like, in this world. You don't have to look far, especially small businesses, because a lot of times they haven't had the time to invest into their online presence. So there's an opportunity pretty much anywhere you go, and if you don't want to tap into your local community, you can tap in online. The next thing is, don't be dazed by your internship or by all of the flashy things that they give you. At your internship, you're going to be like showered with love. Everybody's going to show you what they do. You're going to get all this free merch and like t-shirts and hats and like a tumbler, and you're going to be like, yes, like, I love this company. But like, seriously, do not let it get to your head. Every single company will do that, especially if you're in a tech field. Like, every single company will do that. Make sure you're looking at education benefits, healthcare benefits, like, look deeper into what they have to offer, because a lot of these tech companies are extremely competitive when it comes to benefits, and just because one company has good benefits doesn't mean like other companies won't. Overall, just look into other companies. Don't just fixate on one company and then not put yourself out there for others, because you may end up disappointed or that company may not work out and you need to have backup plans. That was my bad. I did not have backup plans and it came back to like bite me in the butt. Another place that you can begin freelancing is Upwork or Fiverr. Again, you will need some sort of a portfolio because people normally want to see your work before they hire you. But if you have a few projects under your belt that you can display, go ahead and sign up for a Fiverr account. It doesn't hurt, it's free, and if you get a job out of it, hey, even better. You do pay a percentage of what you make to the company that you're going to work with, and then keep in mind that you always have to take out taxes on top of that too, so just set your rates accordingly. But it's a great place to find some work that is probably going to be super random, super fun because it's from wherever in the world, and yeah, another great place to find some freelance work. And lastly, fail forward. Y'all, quitting my corporate job and really just like basically being a corporate dropout, I felt like such a failure. And I know that sounds dumb, but I think just like being at where I'm at in life, I'm only 22 years old. It was a big deal for me, and I didn't feel good about not being able to make it a full year or like be extremely successful, or I had a lot of ideas as to like what my first job would be like, and none of that happened. So take everything as a lesson. Looking back now, I can see that like that wasn't the right job for me, that wasn't the right type of work for me, and moving forward I won't apply for a job that's like that again. I feel like I learned a lot of the red flags to watch out for. I learned about the type of team that I want to work with. Take everything as a lesson, even if it ends up negative. There is opportunity all around you, and especially right now, there's so many freelancers. You are more than capable of doing this. So if you need any advice, feel free to leave comments down below. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. I officially have 2 accounts. I have one for my web design and then one for my my personal life. So if you want to follow either one of those, my personal is probably going to be more cybersecurity, and then my web design is obviously going to be more about web design and my journey to becoming a web developer. So again, if you want to follow along, I'd love to have you. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified when I upload a new video, and I'll see you all very, very soon because I'm ready to start sharing more about what I do and my journey to getting here, and I'm excited to bring you all with me. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me, even though I literally have been posting like twice a year, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye!